What's up? First YouTube video. um, I wanted to talk about what I've been doing lately with, changing myself for the better. Because it's New Year's. New Year's is coming up, and I know that everybody wants to start taking care of themselves, which is awesome. So, what I've been doing, I'm sure you've heard, is I quit caffeine, I quit drinking, I quit sugar. What was the other thing I did in November? Getting up early, right? I didn't quit getting up early. I started getting up early, and I also started withholding my sexual energy. So I want to break down each one of those things and how it affected me, and how you might expect to be affected by it if you decide to do it. So the first one was caffeine, and I kind of got lucky on that. I got sick with just a stupid little sore throat, and I was like, and I had plans the next weekend to go to New York, so I was like, I really need to be healthy for this. I was really looking forward to the trip. So I just loaded up on like smoothies and a bunch of water and veggies, all that good stuff. And inadvertently, I had quit caffeine. I admit I was working construction at the time, and I was drinking Monsters, which is really not yogi. It's really not good, but I was doing it. I was drinking like probably 2 or 3 Monsters a day. I was at least 1 or 2 coffees a day on top of the Monsters. So I was pretty caffeined up. And I just noticed I always felt like tired. I always felt like I needed something, and that goes against everything I believe. I believe that humans have everything that they need in themselves to be able to do whatever they want without any external chemical, especially assistance. So it kind of hit me like 3 days in. I was like, wow, I quit caffeine. I didn't even realize it because I already felt like garbage from the cold. And then like it came to be the end of the month, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try like quitting some other things and see how it feels, because I was also drinking at the time. It happens. In case you don't know me, I'm very honest. I do talk a lot about health and wellness, although sometimes I don't take my own advice. And that's just the reality of it. I mean, life is like this, waves up and down, but I'm trying to keep my wave more so up as of late. So I quit out caffeine. So back to the caffeine. The side effects, I felt like I needed something, like that feeling of, I already had it anyways, if you think about it. I always feel like I always needed something, caffeine. So that really wasn't too bad. The anxiety was moderate from not drinking caffeine. It just kind of felt like, again, I needed something. But then after 2 weeks, it was gone. And what helped me get through it was just pranayama. So for those of you who don't know, pranayama is breathing. It's purposeful breathing. That's part of the Wim Hof thing. He teaches a lot of pranayama. So when you hyperoxygenate, I mean, there's all kinds of ways to breathe. There's all kinds of different pranayama techniques. But that's just the Wim Hof method. I found that the hyperoxygenation was what helped me the most, for whatever reason. And quitting the Monster also was good because Monster is just poison in a can. It's sugary poison. It has B vitamins. Yeah, well, so does a bunch of other things, but it's like saying I smoke cigarettes to get oxygen. It just doesn't make any sense. So caffeine was tough, and it probably the moderate anxiety and all that stuff lasted about 2 weeks, and I stopped wanting it. I stopped craving it after like 4, maybe 5 weeks. Now I'm fine. Now I don't even need it. I wake up, no problem. I don't need anything. I wake up, the first thing I have is a thing of tea. I make ginger, turmeric, and cayenne tea, or a tall glass of water, and that really helps. And that's all I need. I drink a lot of water throughout the day. I actually have a lot more energy. That's another side effect, is I have a lot more energy now from not drinking caffeine. Instead of like a crazy high and like a sucky low, it's just like a consistent, steady focus, baseline, like normal human behavior, So instead of being hyped up on stimulants, so that's good. So overall, the whole no caffeine thing was excellent. It was tough. But just know that I didn't go from drinking 1 cup of coffee a day to drinking nothing. I went from drinking 3 monsters and 2 cups of coffee a day to cold turkey quitting. So if I can do that, so can you. And no alcohol. So again, super open, I'm like an open book. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I don't care what people think about me. I went through a pretty tough breakup, and I was boozing. Yeah, I would just go to the bar and drink it away, and see her call me, bar. See her text me, bar. Got to work, bar. I couldn't sleep, bar. So it was like, I was never an alcoholic. But I was getting there, if that makes sense. And that kind of thing runs in my family. My parents are great. My parents are never alcoholics. It's just like, whatever in the bloodline. So I kind of, again, caught myself feeling like I needed it. Whenever I felt an emotion, I needed to numb it. And so I went to booze. And my go-to was Jameson, a shot of Jameson, and a Budweiser. And now I just do that over and over and over again until I was fucked up. And that's it. And I quit because I just got sick. I was getting sick like twice a week. I was puking from drinking too much like twice a week. And that's just not good. That's really not good. So I kind of, again, took control of my life with the caffeine first, then the alcohol. And I was like, I wake up every day, I feel like shit. I wake up every day and I go to the bar. I'm dropping like $40-50 a day, just on booze. So that was really stupid. And I wasn't really facing myself. I wasn't facing how I felt about what was happening in my life. And that was cowardice on my part. I was running away from myself and my responsibilities to myself. And so the side effects of quitting alcohol: anxiety, like coffee, but I did it at the same time, so it was probably why it was so bad. The withdrawals, I had a little bit of shakes, which is weird. I had a little bit of shakes, and it wasn't the cold. I know my body pretty well. Feeling the need to do something when I wasn't doing anything, and that doing something was drinking. And so when I stopped that, I was like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? So it was weird. It was like a lack of energy from the coffee, and then from the no coffee, and then like needing to do something because I feel like I needed to do something. It was a weird combination. It really it was tough. It was hard. But the obstacle is the path, and struggle builds strength. So I just kind of stuck with it. How did I do it? I drink a lot of water, again, a lot of smoothies. It's funny. It's like all these ailments, these diseases, mental disorders. A lot of them can be fixed with just like simple stuff. Water. A lot of us are dehydrated. Vitamin C. Vitamin C is good for happiness. Vitamin D, getting some sun. Pranayama, breathing, so like the hyperoxygenation I was telling you about, that's good for energy. The Wim Hof method taps into your endocrine system. I'm pretty sure it's endocrine. If I'm wrong, I'm going to slap myself in the face. But it's endocrine system that regulates your hormones, I'm pretty sure. And some of your happiness hormones are like dopamine and serotonin. So what the Wim Hof method does, when you hyperoxygenate, you begin to tap into your endocrine system and release more of these dopamine, serotonin, adrenaline. So that's good. So I did a lot of that. I did a lot of yoga. Again, I understand, like, with depression and alcoholism and anxiety especially, it's hard to do anything. I was in that hole. When I was drinking a lot, I was in that hole. I would lie down and just scroll on my phone infinitely. And then the day would pass or the night would pass, and I would wake up, and then I'd be like, I scroll my phone for half an hour, have a coffee, go to work, scroll my lunch break, come home, shower, scroll, go to the bar, scroll in the bar, come home, scroll, go to bed. So I get that. I understand that depression, anxiety, all those disorders. I don't like the word disorder. I just can't think of a synonym right now, but all of those ailments, they keep you stuck. You know, misery likes company, and it's the truth. I don't know the science behind it exactly, but I feel like there is some kind of addiction to being sad, to being depressed or anxious. Or it's also, for me, it was just a weight. It was a constant, you know, like I would be laying down, I was like, I just felt like I couldn't do anything all the time. Or I didn't even really want to do anything. So it really was just like willpower at that point for me. I just, you know, you can't heal somebody until they're ready to stop doing the things that are making them sick. And that the same case goes for yourself. You can't fix yourself until you're ready to give up the things that are making you sick in the first place. And the same was for me. So the hydration did help. Drinking a lot of water did really help with that. And with getting out of bed and actually doing something. Admittedly, there were some points where I would be in the middle of yoga, or I would just start it, and then I would just be like, I can't do this. I just can't. And then I just like I would just go and just like lie down, you know, and that happens. That's okay. It doesn't happen to me anymore, thank God. You know, I can do yoga anytime now, any time of day. I do it every day. I've been doing it every day. I feel amazing. But it's that first, when you quit drinking, when you quit something that's not that good for you, it's that first month. It's that first month of falling and getting back up and falling and getting back up. It's when you decide to quit something bad for you, it's not like, okay, I'm done. And then you feel amazing. It's like, okay, I have to start. And then you start, and then you fall, and then you start again, and you fall again, then you feel like you're doing pretty good, then you fall, and you're doing good for like 4 or 5 days, and you fall really hard, you know, and it's just, eventually you fall less, and you don't fall as hard, and eventually you just learn how to fall, if that makes sense. So the side effects of not drinking anymore, the positive side effects is that I'm not spending stupid money, you know. I have a lot more energy. I found other things that are really productive to do with my time instead of like on a Friday or Saturday night, instead of going out and, you know, just being a complete idiot. I read a lot of books. Let's see. I just finished this one, Law of Attraction. Amazing. Really, really amazing book. I wrote a blog about it. If you're looking for a new read, or like want to start the new year like with something really good for you, this is the book. And now I'm also reading this. My friend Michelle got it for me, The Hidden Glory of India. Amazing. But my main focus right now is The Wisdom of the Shamans. This is an amazing book about the Mexican culture, about shamanism. And it's blowing me away. It's really cool stuff. Just one thing I want to point out here before I continue, this definition of attachments, which like really blew me away. The book opens up with like a couple of pages of definitions of words that he commonly uses, and attachments is one of them right here. So attachment is the action of taking something that is not a part of you and making it a part of you through an emotional or energetic investment. You can attach to external objects, beliefs, ideas, and even roles that you play in the world. So that's a pretty solid definition of attachment. And now it's attached to booze, and now it's attached to coffee, I was attached to all this stuff. So it's kind of, you know, it's kind of weird at first replacing going out on a Friday night with like staying home and reading a book. And it's kind of hard to find somebody who wants to just stay home and read a book on a Friday night too. But then it comes down to the basic idea that you need to be happy with yourself before you can be happy with somebody else. You're not going to be happy. You're not going to find happiness in somebody else. You're going to find it in yourself first, and then you're going to find somebody will find you who is in the same level. And that's how you find happiness with somebody else, with love. You don't find love in somebody else. You don't find happiness in somebody else. You find love in yourself. You're happy with yourself. And then two happy, loving people come together. And they're happy with themselves, and they become happy with each other. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just kind of like, you know, loving myself, very happy with myself. And it's been really good. So alcohol, there's a spiel on alcohol. Now, quitting sugar, I'm struggling. I'm struggling really hard right now. The anxiety from quitting sugar is like paralyzing. And it's scary, not because I am anxious. It's scary because of how addictive sugar is. Like, man, sometimes I just like, I'm just like behind the computer. I do marketing for a living, so like I'm behind the computer. I'm like staring at the computer, like when you're just like you're not doing anything. You're just like, like you have so much to do, but you just can't get any of it done. And I thrive under pressure. I thrive with a lot of work. I'm always grateful for my work, but since I quit sugar, it's been much more difficult to focus. And I don't attribute that to the caffeine the lack of caffeine rather, because I felt okay without the caffeine. I definitely attribute it to the lack of sugar. And I really want to do more research and educate myself and you more about the dangers and the addictions of sugar, because I've quit sugar before, and I remember it being this tough, but I kind of forgot how tough it was, if that makes sense. And it's also something that's like ingrained in us since we're children, like cereal, candy, of course, and things that you would never even think had sugar in it, like, generic peanut butter, or protein bars, just like all these things. You really start thinking like, man, sugar is in everything, and it's very, very addictive. And the side effects of not having sugar for me personally are, like I said, anxiety, confusion, feeling like I always need to reach for something, like I always need something. Kind of like when I quit caffeine and booze, I feel like I needed it. I feel like I need just something. And that's pretty much it. But it's just so, and the temptation is pretty strong too, because it's the holiday season. There's amazing cookies and cakes everywhere, and even vegan stuff. There's a lot of really good vegan cookies and brownies that I know how to make and stuff. But like I can't do it. I committed to myself for 3 months to not have any sugar. And I think I'm actually going to like stick with it after the 3 months, because it's kind of like spooky. It's really spooky how addictive this man-made chemical is. So my advice for quitting sugar is have a lot of fruit. I've been eating a shit ton of fruit. I eat so many dates, it's insane. Like, so there's good sugar and bad sugar. I'm working on a blog right now with my friend Raw Fit Beauty. If you don't know her, follow her on Instagram, Raw Fit Beauty. She is amazing. Like, she has so much knowledge about veganism, and she has her own business. So if you're in the Miami area and looking for like somebody to make you vegan food, that's your girl. She's super cool. I'm working on a blog with her right now about the difference between good and bad sugar. All I know is that good sugar is in fruit, because that makes sense, right? It's fruit. And bad sugar is artificial, like the white granules that you see. That like goes in coffee and stuff like that. That's not good stuff. Oh yeah, what I've been doing to help with it. So a lot of dates. Every day I have this smoothie. It's frozen strawberries, frozen banana, cacao powder, flaxseed, chia seed, peanut butter, and almond milk, which does have sugar in it. So I'm working on it. But it's cane sugar. And again, that's why I'm learning it's not like the artificial. It could be. I don't know. I got to work on that. But you see, the thing is, when you make goals, this is a good example. When you make goals, like long-term goals to better yourself, it's a learning experience. It's not like, especially when it comes to diet, it's not like I'm just going to quit everything right away and I'm going to be amazing. It's like, okay, I'm going to do the best that I can, and then I'm going to learn along the way and not beat myself up when I fail. And like I said before, you learn how to fall down, and eventually you just fall down less and fall down not as hard. But so now I have to find a substitute for almond milk, unless that almond milk has the okay sugar in it, which is what I'm working on learning, and I'll let you know when I figure that out. But the no sex thing, the no sexual release thing. That's weird. That's been weird. It's like I try to repurpose that energy to work. Um, and my work is creative. I do marketing. I write blogs. I write email. I do email marketing. I do Facebook marketing, e-commerce, stuff like that. So I do have to be creative, but it's not. It's kind of like creativity in a box, if that makes sense. Like, for example, one of my accounts is like heated apparel, right? So it's like gloves that heat up. And so I have to write blogs about like winter things. And I can get creative. I can write blogs about whatever I want, but I'm not really into like snowboarding. I'm not really into skiing. So I can get creative with how I write it, but it's not like full-fledged like creativity. It's not like here's a canvas and here's a paintbrush, make something. It's like here's a picture, color in the dots using whatever colors that you want. So it's good. So the way that I been kind of like repurposing that energy is, here's a good example right here. My fucking dog broke my guitar. So you can see it's totally like destroyed. There's just no way that this is ever going to be like repairable ever. So I'm like, man, what do? Do I throw this out? And then I was like, no, absolutely not. But I don't want to have a broken guitar lying around because that just looks like stupid. So I'm going to turn this into art. And that's what I'm talking about, like repurposing the creative energy is finding beauty and destruction, you know, creating things out of nothing, really. So I'm basically just going to take this guitar, I'm going to take a saw to it and cut it up into pieces and mount the pieces onto some kind of recycled thing. I don't want to get a fresh piece of wood because that's just kind of goes against being an environmentalist. Like, why would I go support cutting down trees just so that I can mount something on it? Doesn't really make sense. I'd rather find some kind of recyclable material that I can put it on. So if you have any ideas, let me know. But so yeah, and so I've also been writing a lot of songs, writing a lot of music, and that's been cool. I've actually surprised at how I can just kind of let the lyrics and the music flow. It's been working pretty well. And drawing, I'm doing a lot of drawing. So I've noticed that if I try to repurpose that creative energy to work, it just kind of doesn't really work if I don't accompany it with something I like to do. So it's like I need to create stuff like art or music, and then I can work on things that that like work, you know, because it's just so a big side effect of not releasing is like massive amounts of energy. Like I'm sleeping like 3 or 4 hours a night, you know. Like I'm just like I'm always like ready to go, and like I've been working out at the gym for 3 hours a day. Like I'm not even exaggerating. Like hour and a half of yoga and then an hour and a half of exercise, and then I usually end it with like a run. You know, I ran for 4 miles the other day in the freezing cold. Like this energy that I have now from not releasing is like it's wild. So be aware of that too. If you ever try to go through this, it's tough. And it's also a lot of energy and a lot of anxiety from the no sugar and the no releasing is like super overwhelming sometimes. And it's just like, I just can't do anything. Sometimes I just like, I can't draw, I can't work, I just need to like run, you know? So I just need to like do something and just like expend energy. And even after I'm at the gym for like 3.5 hours, I still have like, the only reason why I stopped working out is because I have things to do. You know, like I have to work on my business, or else I would stay there probably for another like 3 or 4 hours. So if you're looking for energy, do what I'm doing because it works for sure. Yoga helps, you know, a lot with kind of like redirecting the energy, like harnessing it, controlling it. Because I feel like I have like a raging fire inside of me. I feel like I have like a raging flame in my head and mostly in my gut. And yoga just kind of turns it to like a candle, if that makes sense. Like a long burning candle instead of like a blazing inferno. So yeah, if you're looking for energy, try that. And what's been helping me with all that energy, like I said, is exercising a lot. Pranayama, the Wim Hof breathing. The Wim Hof breathing is really helping with that extra energy. I've also been seeing like pretty cool stuff behind my eyes. You know, like the Wim Hof method is basically you do 30 deep breaths, you hold the exhale, the 30th exhale as long as you can, and then you inhale and you hold the inhale for like 10 to 15 seconds. I hold it for longer because, I don't know, it's just what I feel is right. And then you repeat. Now, when you're holding the exhale and when you're holding the inhale, or when I am anyways, I see like lights. I see mostly like a purple circle, like right here. Like if my eyes were open, it would be like right here, and it gets bigger and smaller, and it's your third eye chakra, the Ajna chakra. So doing that really helps with like the energetic anxiety, I guess you could say. Now, people are, I'm sure that some people are thinking like, why are you doing these things that make you not at peace? Isn't yoga and meditation all about being peaceful? And I'm like, yeah, sure, that makes sense. And I am all about being peaceful, but in order to find peace, you need to kind of fight through yourself, if that makes sense. Booze, masturbation, unconscious sex, caffeine, stimulants, sugar. These are all things that screens, phones, television, movies, bars, concerts. These are all things that take us away from ourselves. Not to say that a concert is good and movies. It's not to say that concerts are bad and movies are bad. I love concerts. I love movies. It's just people, tend to use those as escape. Instead of like dealing with their inner turmoil, they use it daily. They use the masturbation daily, the sugar, the caffeine, Netflix, screens, phones, computer. They use all these things daily as an escape from their reality, from themselves. And the reason why I'm kind of like putting myself right here in front of myself, like this, is I'm like, I'm here. What do I need to work on? What do I need to do to make myself and the world a better place? And that path is not peaceful. It's just not. For some, it may be, but for me, it isn't. And it's good. I'm not like, oh, feel bad for me because I'm working on myself. No, this is good. This is like, the obstacle is the path. Adversity builds strength. Struggle builds strength. We find prosperity in the struggle. Consistency. And Wim Hof even says it's those moments when you want to give up. It's those moments when you don't believe in yourself, when you just want to go to bed, when you just want to sit down and watch Netflix all day, when you want to order a large pizza, when you want to go to the bar, when you want to eat a bunch of cookies, when you want to eat cake, when you want to just go out and do something that in place of your responsibilities, when you feel those really strong negative emotions, those really strong negative ties, that's when you build character. When you say no to those things and yes to yourself, yes to self-growth, that's when you really start to see exponential growth. And that's what I've been doing for the past few months, and that's what I plan on doing for quite some time now. It's those moments of self-doubt, of difficulty, when you really build yourself, your character, your mindset, your courage, your strength, your invigoration, your happiness, your health, your strength. I said strength twice. But and that's, that's the path to peace, is to yourself. I think it's Osho or Yogi Bhajan. No, Yogi Bhajan. He says something like, the path to the self is through the self, or something like that. And it's true. Just taking a deep, radical, honest look at yourself and seeing what you could fix. If there is anything to be fixed, if you're happy with yourself, if you're happy watching Netflix every day and chilling and whatever, fine. I mean, I can't tell you what's happy, you know. I can't tell you what makes you happy. Only you can. And good for you, I'm happy for you, whatever. But just know that if you're unhappy, it's because of you. It's not because of anybody else. It's not because of what somebody else did or said. It's because of what you think, what you say, and what you do every day. Your lifestyle is your choice and your choice only. And those are kind of tough words to hear. It was tough for me to hear for a while. I'm like, oh, but this person does this, and at my job, and that, you know, I go out and see this person and on the internet, and they always bring me down. It's like, well, you know, where are you going to go in the world where somebody is going to try to bring you down? Where are you going to go in the world where everybody cares about what you feel or how you think? Nowhere. The only place in the world you're going to find where somebody cares about what you think and how you feel is in yourself. It's in yourself all the time. So there's my spiel. See, I talked about pretty much everything. Hopefully this kind of helps you like kick off the new year, right? With purpose and invigoration and strength, you know. This past year was a year of Shiva, a year of massive change. Oh, and tonight is winter solstice, full moon, Mercury and Jupiter aligned, I think, and a meteor shower if you're in the Northeast. So like, get your meditation on. You know, this year has been a massive year of Shiva energy, and Shiva is a Hindu god. He represents a lot of things, but mostly destruction and change. And man, I tell you what, I changed a lot in the past year. You know, I changed a lot. I'm basically a whole other person than when I was in January, around different people. So that's good. And then the next year of 2019, from what I've read and just from what I feel, because feeling is understanding, from what I feel, it's going to be a year of prosperity. It's going to be a year of abundance, a year of massive wealth and health and happiness and strength for everybody. So get on it. You know, get that whatever you want. Get the abundance of love, that abundance of money, that abundance of health, happiness, whatever you want that's abundant in your life in 2019, go for it. Go for it. Make that a habit to continue for 2020, 2021, 2022, for the rest of your life. Like, this was a year for change, and next year is a year for abundance and creating the life that you truly want. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to start writing blogs again. I've been like slack in the past month, I know, but I'm getting back on it because I have a lot more time. I'm not doing construction anymore. I have way more time now, so I'll be writing a lot more blogs, coming up a lot more videos, coming out with videos to help, like, for example, like yoga for your lower back, or yoga for your neck, or like yoga for your legs or knees, and all that different stuff, how to meditate, how to do the Wim Hof method. I have a bunch of ideas I'm going to be spitting out all the time for you, because that's my purpose. My purpose is to help you, is to help everybody make the world a better place for humans, animals, and the earth. So again, if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any suggestions, you want me to talk, write, or make a video about something, let me know. This is what makes me happy. So namaste.